All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another SLG Meetup. Your host Alvaro to bring you another exciting, successful, and interesting guy for our new episode. Today is going to be all about health and wellness, and we're going to bring the father, the creator of biohacking, Dave Asprey. He's the founder of the Bulletproof Coffee, 4 times New York Times bestselling author. And I gotta tell you, he's somebody that I met recently at a conference. And we were both speaking, and I was blown away with all the information, all the different approaches to health that he has. So I'm excited to bring you the one and only Dave Asprey to our live today. There he is, the man himself. What's going on, Dave?
Hello, hello. Hey,
Look at you. Looking good, man. You look younger every day. What can we do?
Oh, thank you. I like to think this biohacking thing is working.
I love it. Well, thank you for joining us.
It's a great pleasure. I love what you're doing. There's so many people around the globe who are building biohacking into their homes. And I've worked with several billionaires who are just saying, you know, I want to have some of the things that you can get at Upgrade Labs in our homes, or they want an Upgrade Labs in their development and things. So the idea here is, you know, it wouldn't make sense to have a doctor's office in your house, but maybe it makes sense to have some of that equipment that you can operate yourself that gives you a measurement of how you're doing. So you might have hopped on a scale this morning and said, how much do I weigh? I hopped on a $26,000 medical device that told me the electrical activity of my cells and how much fat was in my organs and liver, by the way, low for an 18-year-old. But the idea here is it was the same 2 minutes on a scale. I just got more data so I could make better decisions throughout my day. And what this means is that you can actually construct your environment to increase your performance. That's the very definition of biohacking. So it's totally time for luxury real estate to reflect this idea. I want to feel good all the time. I don't care what looks. Actually, I do. But I want it to look good. But feeling good is better than looking good. And I'll live in an ugly place that makes me live twice as long. But if it can be beautiful and peaceful and extend my life, that's what I'm spending money on. I'm building a home on a cliff overlooking the ocean in Victoria, BC, using those principles.
I love that. Look, I was going to go straight into that question, and you just went on, and I love that because there's one thing that we all have in common, which is there is a certain amount of time that we can live. However, as you start developing your mind and understanding all these different biohacking techniques, there's really no limit. You can extend your lifespan. You can live better. You can feel more energized. You can look better. And everything starts within you and your temple, which is your home.
You know, I think everything starts in the environment around you. Your body unconsciously talks to the environment around you. And what I'm seeing now is like a friend has a 36-bedroom home, and it was built wrong, and it grew toxic mold. And it made him and his whole family really sick. And yeah, they could afford to get well. The same thing happened to me. I had toxic mold exposure. One of the reasons I weighed 300 pounds. And if you build a luxury, beautiful home, the highest end materials, and the construction firm is untrained in how to build a house that doesn't have mold or doesn't have formaldehyde or other toxins, you're going to move in, it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to smell like formaldehyde, then it's going to smell like a swamp, and then you're going to spend several years feeling like crap and wondering what happened to your health. So the appearance of beauty is different than actual inherent beauty. Same thing, I was just in Dubai. I stayed in a beautiful high rise, right? Yeah, I thought the room smelled a little bit like fingernail polish. And so I didn't catch that it was mold. I thought maybe it was just fresh paint. And I just kind of felt weirder and weirder. And a friend walked in and said, oh my God, can't you smell it? We found in the closet a cushion covered in like fuzzy mold. That was what was going on. Humidity controls. So you put all your money into gorgeous materials and you don't control humidity because you're worried about LEED certification. LEED equals damaged humans. So for people listening, and you can control the toxin input in your food, but you got to do it in your home. And Delos is a standard that you'd be looking for, and I've worked with those guys before. So anything that says LEED equals anti-human, these low energy buildings that don't use enough energy to make you feel good, versus Delos, which is designed for human living. So I'm a huge fan of how do we do this so we feel great.
Right. No, that's an amazing point. And both for the developers and architects and people that are building these projects, as well as the people living in them, they should have that checklist of things that they should be looking into. So what are some of the things that are a non-negotiable that you need to look every single time you're going into a place?
The most important, surprisingly, is humidity controls. So if it's a low energy building, they're going to allow humidity in the hallways. I did a documentary on toxic mold. It's a free one, moldymovie.com. You guys might want to see it if you're building or you're into this. One of the guys in the documentary is a hedge fund manager from New York, very successful guy, buys a flat in a brand new environmentally correct building in New York. Within a year, he's disabled, has to quit his job. And he said they built a terrarium and the hallways smelled like this, even though he's in probably a $10 million place, right? So you got to look at that stuff. The second thing that we don't consider is the impact of lighting on your health. If you have lights that are very dimmable and are down in the 2700K, the very low warm light, you will live longer. If you have those bright white bathroom and kitchen lights, they're kind of glaring, those ruin your biology in the evening. Just 5 seconds of that light tells your body that it must be noon. And then your brain gets tired, your ability to regulate blood sugar. Even people get these weird migraines. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's your kitchen island lights. So soft, indirect lighting, really, really worth it. And the warmth of the light is very important. Historically, you have halogen bulbs. They always worked. These new LEDs make people sick all the time. So you got to work on that.
No, that's an excellent point, because a lot of people in general, not just in the luxury space, but in general, they struggle to sleep. There's so many sleeping disorders.
Yeah.
And it all starts by taking care of the lighting. I always see you with these glasses.
You got my True Dark glasses.
Yes. I got them. I love it. Every time I see you with these glasses, and I'm like, man, I need to go into it. And I start doing the research.
This is one of my companies. And guys, this is called True Dark. And these are designed with 5 different things in them that turn off all the things to keep you awake. I don't get jet lag anywhere on the planet if I wear these on airplanes. And it makes such a difference. So I started this company like almost 10 years ago, just because you couldn't buy something. And I fly so much that this is how I maintain my stuff in a hotel. And if you have those dumb closets where the light turns on without your permission, or bathrooms that always have a nightlight, no nightlights equals you get good quality sleep. And here's the weird thing. For most of us, we go to sleep, we think we slept. But you can get really good sleep or really bad sleep. Just like you could say, well, I had wine. Well, did it come out of a box, or was it a really good wine? Right? It's the same way with your sleep. So for that, again, this is also just a resource, sleepwithdave.com, which is the best URL of my entire career. But that's everything I know.
That's for real? That's for real?
For real. Isn't that the best name? You can't forget Sleep with Dave. But it's just every single thing you can do. My mattress, it has quartz embedded. It's what pro athletes sleep on. And it's the right materials. And on top of it, I have something that controls the temperature of the mattress. So it's always a little cool in the first half of the night. And there's something that's electrically grounded on top of that. And so I was going to lay on a mattress. I might as well lay on the best mattress with all the stuff that makes me get more sleep in less time. And this is the definition of biohacking. It changed the environment around you and inside of you, so you have control of your own biology. My bet, Alvaro, is that you and me, we want to live way longer than we're supposed to. My number is at least 180. What's your number?
Oh my God, I love it. I was going to be happy being like 125, but I think it's the approach to those years. I'm a guy that, we had this conversation. I do ultra endurance races. And you're like, man, you're going to kill yourself doing this crazy stuff. I want to get to 100 years old and still be able to do all these races. So we will have to push a little bit more.
Get to 200 and still do all these.
Okay. I need to hang out more with you. I'm going to check that URL, see what's going on in there.
I mean, think about it, right? Today, our current best is about 122 to 124. And those people were born, we didn't have airplanes when they were born. Right? Like, completely different world. So in the next 100 years, I think we can do 50% better than our current best. And if you're a follower of this page and you're doing super luxury stuff, you can probably afford to get gene therapy like I just did. Have you done it yet?
No, the gene therapy, nothing yet.
Okay. DaveAsprey.com/gene therapy is the link. I had 2 episodes with a leading doctor. This is on my podcast podcast, where one injection, just under your skin, it's not painful. On average, it takes 9 years off your age.
You're kidding.
So, no, and for some people, it's 20 or 30 years. Right?
Wow.
So that's crazy. Just this one injection.
I have homework.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's not that expensive compared to taking 9 years off your measured age. So you measure my labs, it says I'm 39, but the calendar says I'm 51. If you can afford a nice home, you can afford to be 10 or 20 years younger inside your cells. Whether or not you get plastic surgery and duck lips and all that, that's up to you. This is about how you look. It's about how your genetics, how your cell biology works, so your body has the energy and the feelings of someone way younger than you. And then you run circles around all your friends, then you get younger friends too, because you're going to need them, because you're going to live longer.
That's right. No, I love that. And look, it's very interesting because we're here in Miami. Miami's a very active city. Everything is always, okay, let's go, look good, feel good, work hard, play harder. And we look at these commercial spaces, in fact, office spaces that now they're being completely restructured. So my business partner and I just got this new building where he just invested in it. And we were talking about creating a whole wellness center because there's so much stress going on. People still need to be able to biohack themselves to perform better, feel better, and live longer.
It's entirely possible. And now that we're restructuring these useless office buildings into residences, we can look at things like air quality. We can look at things like electromagnetic fields. And it's an opportunity to really reconsider the kind of environment you want to live in. Do you want to be in an office building with sealed windows? The answer is no.
Of course not. No. Hell no.
And yeah, do you want to share air with your neighbor who still sprays weird air fresheners that are known to disrupt your testosterone and estrogen? No, because you're going to smell it, and they're cooking fumes from whatever. So even if you're in a super high-end place, you want to have your own air that's filtered according to your standards that comes in and out of your place. So even if you don't have a balcony or something, building a building with sealed windows, in my opinion, unless it's a data center where no humans go, it should actually be illegal.
Right.
Access to real unfiltered sunlight and air, even if it's humid outside, it's a basic human thing. And just being locked in where you can look out through this window that's heavily tinted, you never see the sun, you never smell the air. Even if you're in Shanghai or Dubai where the air quality is crappy, you still need to be able to do that on the one night a year when it's good. And this is something that you've just got to do. You can also buy air filters. We mentioned that earlier. Every room in my house has a high quality air filter in it, and it's built into my HVAC system. And if you don't believe that matters, even with all that, and I have all hardwood floors or tile, so there's no carpet making crap. I open up my air filters and they're just full of dust. They're taken out of the air that I was going to breathe that, right? So you want your allergies to be lower. So a clean environment it's a rounding error compared to any of the building costs that we do, but people ignore it. Yet the quality of your sleep, the quality of your focus, it matters so much.
So true. I think that you just need to look for the URL, Building with Dave. You have Sleeping with Dave, Building with Dave. God. We need to bring you to that community.
That's a really good
idea. You'll be a great consultant. And we have a beautiful real estate community. So this is something that a lot of people don't even have the understanding on what the next step should be when building new homes or buildings.
I have definitely consulted with a few people. It's not my primary business. I have 6 businesses and a giant podcast. And Upgrade Labs is a franchise that's opening 27 locations in North America now, and we're expanding, opening more. And it's a franchise where we have all of the gear that you would use to increase your performance. And it's not just lifting stuff. In fact, there's no weights at all. Everything is driven by AI. So you come in, we measure you. Is my goal longevity or being more muscular or leaner or having energy back or even increasing your IQ, right? Whatever your goal is, we have all the tech that doesn't look like anything you've seen before. So people are saying, how do I get those types of things in my high-end home? And I'll tell you, if you're looking to build, a gym in your home, you're still in the 90s. So I worked with Nick Foles, the Super Bowl MVP, who's a friend and supporter and just a fantastic human being. In every one of his homes, he put a whole biohacking lab in the homes. And that was an article in I think it was the New York Times or LA Times, I forget, one of the times. Now they're both going to hate me. But around how people are building out biohacking things in their homes. And the reason that you do that is that if you're living in a very expensive place, you probably have more money than time. And there are some things you have to go into an upgrade lab. You're just not going to be able to do that at home. And there are other things, like I mentioned, the ability to measure your biology accurately, or something I have at home that I wouldn't put in a facility. I have a hard-sided hyperbaric oxygen chamber that I could buy a moderately priced Porsche for that. But I have that, and then I drive a Jeep. So of course my Jeep is badass. But so like, where are your priorities? And if you're building a gym, why wouldn't you put the latest stuff that actually works? So I feel like this is really important, and it's overlooked. So like, oh, look, I have like a sexy weightlifting thing, picking up rocks. That's what cavemen did. And running away from tigers. I know you're an ultra endurance guy, and full respect for your masochism. But like at home, we can put stuff. We put AI powered stuff in your house. That means you saved 3 hours a week, and you get these lately in the field of longevity. And I've written a major New York Times bestseller on how to live many decades longer than you're supposed to. And there's a new book out there from a guy who's only been in longevity for a couple of years. He was a former surgeon, and he's saying, oh yeah, there's no evidence we'll ever be able to extend human life, and best thing you can do is exercise, take statins, and get vaccinated. And I'm like,
what?
We've already extended human life from going back 30 years. Right? Like it's happening. And so it's happening right in front of us right now. And the people who are following you, we are the people who are most likely to be able to add decades. And we're going to show how to do it. We are doing it. And because we're doing it, that makes it available for all of the other people. And this might be a little bit dark, but I feel like it's worth talking about. If you're looking to live a super long time and you have this beautiful life, the birth rate in the US, in fact, all of the developed countries, is way less than replacement. So you go to Japan, there's empty cities. There's no one to live there because older people are passing and there's no younger people. The US is the same way. We're just 20, 25 years behind. So if you're planning to be vibrant 25 years from now, you're going to be facing a real estate crash and empty cities, or we have to stop dying and we have to live longer. And we can do that. We have the technology. So we got to make our people stay young, or we have to get our younger people to have a lot more babies. And they don't seem to want to do that.
Right.
So let's do this.
It's very interesting. No, I'll tell you something, Dave, because look, we work with clients that are buying or selling homes that are $30 million, $25 million. And when they get to know about this biohacking world, they don't really understand much. They just know that they want to live longer.
Yep.
I want to feel better. I want to live longer. End of the story. But there is so many researches, so many things going on around that nobody really understands what's best. I have friends, I'm telling you, Dave, that they go to one of these. Oh, what is that? I love that.
I don't know what happened there either. That's cool.
That's cool. Anyways, I think that people that have money, sometimes they just try to buy everything and see what sticks, when in reality, it's about having some guidance of exactly what you need. And I want you to tell us, what are some of the basic rules on somebody to start this biohacking journey?
The number one thing that you want to tell yourself is that the most important thing about your food is how you feel after you eat it. And flavor can be number two, right? Convenience can be number three, whatever you want it to be. But so often we've been programmed, even at the very highest end, oh my gosh, how does this taste? It's the most delicious. And then after dinner, you're like, God, I got to have 2 espressos. I'm a little dizzy. I got a blood sugar crash. I didn't sleep well that night. But you do that every night, so you don't even know. And so your goal is, number one, don't fall for the latest trends. Plant-based proteins are less available, 2/3 less available for your body than animal-based proteins. So focus on animal protein and the quality of your animal protein. This means you eat grass-fed, grass-finished beef. You eat wild-caught fish. You eat chicken from a small farm that lived outdoors, or you don't eat chicken. And even when you go to whatever restaurant, or maybe you're working with your own chef, throw away the canola oil, all of the industrial oils that didn't exist 40 years ago. And you cook in duck fat, you cook in beef tallow, you cook in ghee or clarified butter and saturated fats. And when you do that, say if it's not grass-fed, I don't want to do it. No industrial meat. Right now they're grinding up plastic, like food in plastic packaging and feeding it to pigs and cows, and then they're getting microplastics and we're eating them and it's ruining our hormones and our cells. You don't have to do any of that. So find a local farmer, even better yet, offer to invest in the farm, give them $500,000 so they can have an epic farm forever, and you'll have a supply of beef that is world-class. Like your beef should be the same as your wine.
I like that.
Right? And each cow tastes different at the very high end. And this is a whole new world.
Wow.
And when you get into this, you realize, oh, it's not that it's a special treat to have animal protein. This is what makes humans live longer. Our kids are taller. And depriving yourself of protein equals less muscles, equals you turn 60, you fall, you break a hip because you don't have enough muscle, and then you die. And I write about this. The book is called Superhuman. So no seed oils, no industrial flavorings and all that stuff, and super high quality animal protein. You get those two things right, you're so much further along. And then just realize most grains are not particularly good for you. White rice is the best grain if you're going to eat grains. So if you're eating a lot of bread, it doesn't matter if it tastes good. I know you love sourdough and baguettes, so do I. They just don't work if you live a long time. So you become more mindful, but if you just cut out the bad oils, it's going to take a couple of years to recover. Another thing, avoid mold toxins in food. Coffee is a major source of toxins. My new coffee company after leaving Bulletproof is called Danger Coffee. Go to dangercoffee.com. We do super premium, lab tested with minerals added in, because if you're going to live a long time and you're just getting going, what you need is minerals in your body, because nuts and seeds and industrial foods, even oatmeal, strips minerals out of your body. People who live a long time have minerals. So you can drink Danger Coffee to put minerals in. You can go to vitamindake, vitamindake.com.
Okay.
This is the #1 vitamin you need to take every day. It's a mixture of all the fat soluble vitamins that keeps calcium in your bones where it belongs instead of in your tissues and your arteries. And then on that same site, there's Minerals 101. So you're going to take Vitamin Dake, Minerals 101, and drink Danger Coffee. Now you have minerals. When your body has minerals, now you can start making testosterone again. You can start even turning on fertility. You can start having hair that's the color you want, and you can stay younger. And the earlier you start in life, the easier it is. I learned all of these tricks because when I was in my mid-20s, I had already had major brain fog, arthritis, high risk of stroke and heart attack, pre-diabetes, and I hit 300 pounds. And
wow,
it sucked. So I went to this longevity group back in the 90s, and people in their 80s and 90s with more energy than me taught me how they were staying young. So what I'm transmitting through biohacking is handed to me from my elders. And I'm focusing it using more science and sharing it again. So I'm just telling you, if you're fortunate enough to be in these super luxury real estate environments and you're under 40, oh my God, you have the easiest life ever, because all you have to do is stop it from breaking. And if you're like 50, 60, 70, 80, you can reverse your age. It just takes more time and focus. And for that,
so true.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do.
I love it. I could be listening to you all day long. That's one of the things that I find so fascinating. And I'm sure that everybody tuning in and listening to this, they are starting to open their mind a little bit more and understanding that the best investment ever is yourself, is in your longevity technique. So I love that. I just have a question, because look, there is so many myths out there. I was blown away when I heard that you were saying that white rice is better than brown rice. I always thought like, oh, brown rice, you know, nice, of course. Now all brown rice out of the house, I'm white rice full. Tell us what's the biggest myth that is out there, or the biggest scam?
Yeah, the biggest scam is the idea of a whole foods plant-based diet. There's no such thing as a whole food. Do you take the shell off your walnut?
No.
Well, yeah, you do, because you couldn't eat the walnut. You have to take that hard stuff off.
The shell I take.
You take the husk off of corn. So what the hell is a whole food? There's no such thing as a whole food, right? Because you could grind up the whole corn cob. You could grind up the thing and eat it. The reality is that for humans, we've had this struggle. Don't starve to death during a famine, which has been a problem for all of the last thousands of years. So what are the things you can eat without dying that give you energy? We still eat those all the time, even though they aren't good for us, and they become our traditional foods. And one of the things that pisses me off is spinach and kale.
Why?
Well, these only live for brief periods of time in the summer, especially spinach. You know, it is so high in a compound called oxalic acid that 70 to 80% of all kidney stones are caused by plants, not by eating meat. So we're eating spinach and kale like I did when I was a raw vegan, and it causes gout, it causes joint pain, it causes neurological issues because we're getting poisoned by plants. Can you eat spinach? Yes. Is it good for you? No. If you're dying of hunger, should you eat spinach? Yes. If you have all the money in the world, should you be eating a spinach salad and smoothie even twice a week? No way, because you value your kidneys and your blood vessels. It forms microscopic, razor-sharp calcium crystals throughout your body, and you don't know why you're in pain. You don't know why you have weird skin issues. It's the plants. And I wish I'd known this sooner as a vegan, and as it is on the Bulletproof Diet, there's a book that I've written by that title. People have lost more than 2 million pounds, and you control the amount and type of plants. Eat more herbs, eat less weird exotic plants, and stick to the good stuff. Broccoli, cauliflower, kind of the boring ones. Lettuce, arugula, spinach, kale, chard. You just don't need that.
This is very powerful, by the way, but I'll tell you something. The backlash that you must be getting every single day when you make these claims, when you're talking about these things which are researched.
Oh, that's very
it's not just something that you're saying.
Yeah.
How do you handle the criticism?
Oh, it's fantastic, right? So people are going to say, well, but I like it. I'm like, but I like heroin. Should I keep using it? And then they just stop. They go, and they don't even know what to say. I don't care if you like it. Really, I don't care. And if you identify as a good person because you eat brown rice and spinach, keep identifying as a good person. Keep eating it. Like, I love you. You know, you can punch yourself in the kidneys all day long, and I'm still going to think you're awesome. There is a better way. And I know, because I made all the mistakes when I hit 300 pounds. So if you don't want to listen to me, you can unfollow me. It's totally good. I'm about to cross 1 million followers. I should cross 1 million followers probably today or tomorrow. If you're not following, thank you if you do. And a lot of the time, it's people are offended, saying, well, brown rice is healthy. I'm a good person because I ate healthy. Here's what's going on. You were misinformed. Like, you ate brown rice because you thought it was good for you. Now you know it's not, so you change your behavior, and that's what adults do. And if you're still stuck in childland, where you're saying, well, no, I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I ate my brown rice. Dude, no, you're not. There's no good or bad involved in this. You just made a choice, and now you're making a better choice. With brown rice has 80 times more arsenic in it than white rice. Every rice eating culture on the planet, the poorest people eat the brown rice because they can't afford the white rice. They know that if you remove the toxins from the rice, you have less energy in the rice, but it's better for you. And if you're feeding the peasants who don't have a choice about it, you feed them the toxins that have energy with the toxins, which is the outside of the rice, and you feed them the rice, and they can survive. They just get diseases over time. The other thing that's in rice and oatmeal and a lot of nuts and seeds and grains is phytic acid. I built a small regenerative farm. Talk about super luxury, building your own farm.
Yeah, I love that.
I did that on Vancouver Island, looking out over the water. That's work. But what you learn from animals like that is you learn that if you feed grains like brown rice to animals, they lose their fertility because it sucks minerals out. So what we do is we give special enzymes to animals when we feed them brown rice or oats or corn so that they can digest them, because animals, they're supposed to be able to digest those. They can't with the amount they're eating. When you and me eat them, we don't make those enzymes. So they just strip the minerals from our bones. We wonder why we have osteoporosis and gout and arthritis and all these other weird diseases of aging. They're diseases of lack of minerals because we ate plants that suck minerals from our bodies. And it's crazy what we're telling people. Oh, you should eat this industrial plant-based whatever to save the environment, because rotting grass makes as much methane as cows that eat grass. So grass-fed cows build soil. And I wrote the first $50,000 check that created Elon Musk's $100 million carbon capture X Prize. I don't want high carbon in the world because I'm going to be around 100 years from now when it matters. But right now, if they destroy soil with glyphosate, and by destroying cows, destroying chickens, and just having no more animals on the planet because of some weird vegan agenda, your children will be infertile. Yes, I've written a major book on fertility called The Better Baby Book. You need animal protein, you need animal fats to make hormones. You and your kids are already at 50% less testosterone than we were 30 years ago because of what we've done to our food and our environment. Your job, get your testosterone levels up. I inject, you probably should too, or use another testosterone therapy, whether you're a man or a woman. Why do we have to do this? Because of food quality issues. Can you afford to fix your food so you can show up the way you want to show up in your life and maybe help to invest in some small farms and fix the world? You can do this, and it's fun. Plus you get to eat beef. So let's do it.
Well, listen, I'm pumped, and it makes you really think deeper on the things that you're currently doing and how you can make adjustments. It's not that difficult. It's not rocket science. You just need to stick to the plan and keep on moving forward. Because as you mentioned, we have so much potential to live better and longer than what we even think is possible. We just need to go through the process. Now, I have a question for you, and this is something that we ask all our guests, but what is luxury to you?
Luxury for me is just two things. It's having enough energy, first and foremost, and then having freedom to do what you want.
Wow.
And
I love that, by the way. Wow.
Thank you. So many people today, including me earlier in my life, if you don't have your energy, you'll spend all of your money to get it back. If you have tons of time and no energy, all you will do is sleep. So the most important currency of luxury is just energy. And how do you make energy? You eat the right foods and your metabolism works because you learned how to sleep and move and stuff like that in a way that works for you. And sometimes you need AI to do that. Now you turn 30 pounds of air and some food into electricity. And if it works right, you get energy instead of muffin top. And then, okay, now what do? Do I have time? And if you're in the luxury world, you're in one of two classes. You're someone who's so busy, like the hedge fund guys I work with, where every minute, I'm the same way. Every minute is scheduled throughout the day. My calendar is Tetris. I'm okay with that because I'm having fun and this is my life and like I've chosen that. There's a lot of people who feel they're almost enslaved to their calendars. And then there's another group where they have no mission and no purpose, and you have luxury. And you probably don't have energy because you're drinking a lot of wine and you're kind of chilling and you're sort of slowing down. So you want to be in that sweet spot where you have a mission and a purpose, you have freedom and you have energy. And then you can allocate resources in a way that's so beautiful. I actually started a mastermind with Naveen Jain, who's a Forbes list friend, 7-time exiting guy, and Vishen Lakhiani, who runs the largest personal development site online called Mind Valley. The three of us put together a group called the Apollo Group, and we do mentoring. It's a very high-end mentorship group where we help guide entrepreneurs and high net worths on how do you find your mission and purpose and structure your life and your mission so that you have the energy and the freedom and you can grow something amazing. If you're spending $30 million on a property, you can invest in whatever companies you want to, and you don't have to run them. You just have to be able to find the right stuff that creates the world you want, and you plant a few seeds and your portfolio is safe. And when you plant those seeds, the amount of satisfaction you get from that, from just having the structured thinking process to know what matters to me and how do I take a small percentage of what I'm doing, put it in something that matters, that provides a return for me in energy. You're getting enough financial returns. You need the energy return. You feel fucking amazing about what you're doing every single day, and you wake up supercharged. Doing that's not easy, and sometimes it takes a community of people who also get it. So guys, I'm just daveasprey.com. You can find all the stuff I do there. But it's just like you have this. And I made $6 million when I was 26. I've raised $90 million for Bulletproof, and I've spent a huge amount of time working with high net worth clients or high net worth friends who want to open and upgrade labs, and traveling around the world and on yachts and things like that. And what you find is there's this huge demand from people with resources to help the world, right? And that there's a desire, but the map to help the world in a way that feels good for you, that feeds you energy every day without stealing time and freedom, that map is hard to create. And if you can find that, it changes your life, because when you wake up and you look your kids in the eyes and you look your partner in the eyes, you're like, man, I did something so good today. So
I love it.
That's been my path to find out how do I do that.
Listen, Dave, just listening to you is just giving me such great energy. And I've asked this question so many times, and it's the first time that I hear this answer, the energy, right? And it's so beautifully said that I just encourage everybody to follow Dave. Everything that you're saying, it's so interesting, so to the point, and so life-changing that I please encourage everybody to check everything that Dave is doing. And listen, I can't wait to see what we can do next, especially in the real estate world. Let's start changing one home at a time, one life at a time, and that's how we get to where we want to be in life. So
All right.
I appreciate you.
I'm ready. And guys, send me a DM if you want to know about Apollo Group or the neurofeedback brain training stuff I do. Got all kinds of stuff that's designed for people like us to be able to show up better. Because if you're in luxury real estate, you're one of the people who's a steward of the world around you by definition. So you can do that better. See you soon, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Bye, Dave.